Hey everybody, Angel Arts here, and we are now once again here at Let's Play Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. I was just going through all of the evidence again, reading all of the dialogues, and some thoughts that I had. I mean, if you're reading through here, it's looking like some interesting things. If Blinkhorn When I asked Blinkhorn about Garrow, I think Sherlock asked Blinkhorn if he thought that Garrow was capable of murder. What can you tell me about Garrow? He's been acting strangely, complains a lot from visions. Gosh, where did he say that? Yeah, here it is. Do you believe that Garrow killed Rodney? And Blinkhorn says, "Oh no, Garrow could not harm a fly." I don't know. The reason why that particular dialogue jumped at me is because I was thinking, if Blinkhorn was the murderer, wouldn't he want to pin the murder on someone else, or make Holmes suspect someone else? So that's one thing that I was thinking about. Maybe it's not Blinkhorn because he wasn't trying to pin anything on Garrow, and he was just being a nice guy about it. I don't know. The other thing is when you notice talking to Pitkin doesn't really try to defend anyone, and that just could very well be, just his personality. What did when Sherlock asked, "What did you see?" The steam was too thick to see anything. But ask Garrow. He saw the body first. Sort of, backhandedly implying that maybe Garrow had something to do with the murder, And when Sherlock says some melted silver was found in the steam room brazier, do you know where it came from? Pitkin says silver? No, ... which makes me sort of suspect that maybe if he was the murderer, maybe he used silver instead, The silver really bothers me because there's no explanation for this melted silver being there. I mean, and it could very well have been there for a totally unrelated reason. I can't imagine what that reason could possibly be, and just have nothing to do with the murder. The ice, though, because with the whole ice, we found ice buckets down in the catacombs with salt, which is kind of strange. Why would there be ice buckets and salt down there unless somebody was trying to hide something down there, like the mechanisms of making a murder weapon? So I guess that's a little bit more suspicious. I guess it's a little bit more suspicious than the silver being on the brazier. However, then you have this photo where it's showing, the negative, the photo here is showing an archaeologist with Sir Roderick, not Sir Rod, Sir Rodney, having ice cream, because they were talking about how I guess the Egyptians or Romans, or one of the two, the Romans or the Egyptians. I mean, these are the Giza pyramids, so I guess it's the Egyptians, even though we're dealing with Romans in this mystery, invented, refrigeration, and therefore they were using it to have ice cream. I guess you could argue that whoever was down there was just trying to mimic the Egyptian way of refrigeration, and that could have had nothing to do with the murder. I don't know. I'm still leaning towards the knife being ice because it's really the only way to explain the presence of water in the blood. Yeah. The presence of water in the blood kind of sells me towards the knife being made of ice. However, I guess the real question is, who do I think the murderer is? I think I am going to say Blinkhorn, and the reason why I say Blinkhorn is because if you go back to that lamp, the lamp that was right there in front of the gate that was leading to the golden knife. Watson said that the oil in the lamp looked fresh, so somebody had been there recently, and Sherlock seemed to be very convinced that that person was not Rodney, because, as he explained, so Rodney had only gotten as far as the catacombs of the Frigidarium, so he never actually made it as far as, the location of the golden dagger. So that means that the murderer must have been the one that made it all the way to the catacombs. No, not the catacombs, to the knife. I don't see Garrow finding his way over there. I don't see Pitkin finding his way over there. Like Garrow, because you had to be very observant about all the archaeological symbols that were on that wall, and you had to make sure that you had to navigate your way through that maze. You could easily get lost in there, and I don't think Garrow nor Pitkin are the likely suspects in, being able to make their way through. Pitkin is just a businessman. He doesn't really, all he wants is, maybe he might have killed, it's possible to say that he could have killed Sir Rodney because he wanted him to stop his archaeological, excavation immediately, so he could finally open up the bathhouse. But I don't see him figuring out all of that archaeological stuff. The switches, like figuring out the switches to get under to the catacombs. I don't see that man in the catacombs. I'm sorry, he's too well dressed. I don't think he would set one foot into the catacombs. And just figuring out, the shadows on the floor with Minerva and the bull and Neptune's, and then I guess connecting that with the excavation site. No. It seems like the person who is most likely to be able to get through all of that and reach the golden knife is an archaeologist, and Blinkhorn is sort of my suspect for that. It makes the most sense for Blinkhorn being able to make it all the way there, because he is an archaeologist, and he has studied Rodney's work, and therefore he is the one most likely to figure out all the clues, the exact same clues that Sherlock and Watson figured out, in order to, eventually lead him to the golden knife. And since Sherlock himself said he believes that that person who reached the golden knife is the killer, it's gotta be Blinkhorn, guys. That's what I'm thinking. Now, one thing that before I continue on, I need to say something, guys. I really should not have to say this, but I had a lot of problems with the first mystery, because as soon as I posted the video of my first mystery, and I specifically said, both in the description and also in I think cards, the YouTube cards that appear over the video, I specifically said, please, kindly do not inform me whether I was correct or not. I do not want to know whether or not my deductions are right. I don't want to know yet whether or not I was correct in who I accused of these murder cases. Because as you have seen, as I have read from what the game is telling me that it sort of spoils the experience if I already know. If I check the answer and find out if I was right or not. So I am asking you again, please do not tell me whether I am right or wrong. I don't want to know. I do not want to know until the very end if it comes back to bite me at the end of the game, because I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it doesn't. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. This is supposed to be a blind Let's Play. Please honor my attempt at maintaining this to be a blind Let's Play. I do not want to spoil the experience, and according to the game, knowing whether I was right or wrong too soon is going to spoil the experience. So out of respect to me, please don't do it. I know it's tempting. I know it's very hard. If you've seen this game played before and you know the answer, the temptation is there to tell me right or wrong, and even to get upset. And that's what I don't understand. Why? Like, there really is no sense, guys, in getting upset if I get this wrong. It's a video game, guys. It's a video game. I want to enjoy it as much as possible, and I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm only human. I mean, I don't think it's completely obvious, in my opinion, the correct answer for all of these things. I'm bound to make mistakes, and I'm not Sherlock, but I'm trying my best to figure things out as well as I can, to do things as well as I can as Sherlock. So if it becomes a problem, I'm probably just going to turn off the comments on every single video where I make a decision on who the murderer is, because I have to do what I can to make sure that I don't get spoiled, because it's not only not fair to me, but it's also not fair to the viewers, not fair to the rest of the viewers who are trying to watch my genuine blind reactions to thing in this game. And if you guys tell me, ahead of time whether I was right or wrong, it just defeats the purpose. So anyway, I'm going with Blinkhorn. Blinkhorn knew of Bentcliffe's intention to take all of the credit for the discovery of the golden knife. He devised a cunning plan to eliminate Bentcliffe, and for this he deserves the rope. See, this says he devoted his life to discovering the golden knife, and the credit was about to be stolen by Bentcliffe. If he had been given the opportunity to claim ownership of his discovery, he would not have killed Bentcliffe. But that does not excuse him from killing Bentcliffe. Sure, it would have been probably nice if Blinkhorn had the opportunity to claim ownership of the discovery, but that even if he doesn't, even if he's not given that claim of ownership, that doesn't give him the right to kill the man. No. So I would not, assuming that I believe that Blinkhorn was the murderer, I would not absolve him, because that does not equal, he's allowed to murder people for that. I'm condemning Blinkhorn. I'm going with it. It's the one that for me makes the most sense. I could be wrong. Maybe he did it with the silver dagger. Maybe it was Pitkin or Garrow. But this is my choice, guys, and I'm going to accept the consequences of this choice, right or wrong, and hope that I don't end up sending an innocent man to prison. But we'll see. I am sticking with it.
I'm feeling rather uncomfortable. Why have I been put into these cuffs?
I fear that you had better get used to them, Mr. Blinkhorn. They are your reward for the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe.
What? No, that's a lie.
It is
really?
regrettable, for you are a talented archaeologist. I will request that you are placed in a prison where you are unable to dig an escape tunnel. That is, of course, if they decide that you shall live. The consulting detective who salutes your intelligence in performing the perfect crime, yes, but also the gentleman who detests your motivation.
You know nothing.
You wish to be the one who would reveal this to the world.
Is that the golden knife? How?
I also like to dig, you see. I only followed your trail. Such a pity that there is always someone willing to steal your credit, wouldn't you say? And there was the chance of a lifetime. You had to take it. It was not to be shared. But now I am here, and there is no one who will stop the tread of justice, Mr. Blinkhorn. Goodbye.
I think he's guilty, guys. Based on his reaction, I feel like he knows. Based on that encounter, I felt like he knew that he did it, and he just got caught by it. He was shocked at the golden knife, not shocked at seeing it for the first time, but shocked that he had seen it, but he couldn't get to it because he needed he need a second person. You need two people in order to get the golden knife, apparently. And he was shocked that Sherlock had gotten to it before he did. So that's what I'm thinking. So I believe that based on his reaction that he was indeed the murderer. But don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know yet. At least not until the end. Blinkhorn knew of Bencliffe's intention to take all of the credit for the discovery of the golden knife. He devised a cunning plan that would not only eliminate his rival, but award him the fame of discovery. He used a handmade ice maker to create an ice-made production of the golden knife of Mithras, carried to the steam room in an ice bucket with champagne. Yes, the ice bucket challenge. And then after the murder, dropped the knife onto the floor, allowing it to dissolve into water. The rope is a fitting punishment. So he's getting hung. Wow. The man is getting hung. Hopefully I did it. I did this correctly. I'm gonna accept the decision, guys. You're about to finish the case. Yeah. People solved the case the same way, 73%. People made the same moral choice, 68%. I guess moral is, whether to absolve him or condemn him. I'd like to think that most people would probably have condemned people of murder. Murder's a pretty big deal. Unless you can prove that it was for self-defense, there's very little reason for you to get away with murder scot-free, So... we're halfway through the mysteries, guys. The Abbey Grange affair, or Grange affair. Achievement unlocked, blood and ice. Missed an important phrase in dialogue? You can always, yeah. Well, let's at least start this case. We're 3 more cases left.
The game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come.
What? Is Watson naked? Did you just wake up a naked Watson? What's going on?
I'll wait for you in the sitting room.
Oh, do we get to control Watson in this one? I hope I get to...
I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade. A letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified.
What time is it?
I fancy that every one of his cases
Since
has found its
off.
way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
What am I looking at? Can I get a new achievement? Harp. A silver knife. Those are my souvenirs. Silver cast of the Mithras ritual.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take...
Is the woman still there? She's still there! I heard she's in the other games, too. Toby.
I agree with you, Toby.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take...
I wasn't done, Watson,
I agree
with
with
Toby.
you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
Burn. Burn, burn, burn.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
All right,
The
Watson.
letter
I
is on
heard
the
you the
table,
first.
Holmes.
I
You
heard
should
you the
take a
first time, Watson. Another letter from Mycroft, baby. Murder in the Roman Baths. A colossal scandal in high society. The well-known and remarkable archaeologist, the pride of our nation, Sir Rodney Bencliffe, has been found murdered. The crime took place at the Roman Baths in Strands Lane, the location of the archaeologist's most recent research, but what is most truly shocking is that the murder of Sir Rodney was at the hand of his former friend and partner, Percival Blinkhorn. The death sentence is the only possible punishment for this breed of villain. Wow. Alright. I did not want to spoil my game experience. Okay.
This is where I keep my post.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Table. Letter. 221B, Baker Street, London. Sherlock Holmes.
A wax seal with the monogram E.B.
Okay.
The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
Huh. Can I open said letter?
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
You can? Okay. What does it say? Abbey Grange, Marsham, Kent, 3:30 a.m. My dear Holmes, I should be very glad of your immediate assistance in what promises to be a most remarkable case. It is something quite in your line. Except for releasing the lady, I will see that everything is kept exactly as I have found it, but I beg you not to lose an instant, as it is difficult to leave Sir Eustace there. Yours faithfully, Inspector Lestrade.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Another case.
Promising,
Surprise,
as
surprise.
always. It appears to be a case of murder.
Surprise,
So you
surprise.
believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man.
Fair enough.
These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well,
3 a.m.
it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter
Right.
at 3:30 in the morning.
Exactly.
Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Are you going to be packing your archives there while you're at it, Holmes? Well, Holmes, before we do that, I want to make sure that we are well dressed for this occasion. I want to change my outfit again. Wardrobe, please. Not casual. Brown. Ooh. Green. Gray. Light. I kind of like the green. Let's go with the green. Makeup table. Oh gosh, no. Nah. Oh, suave. Very suave. Okay, I'm gonna go with... Let's go with Swab Holmes. Yeah. I want to go with the Swab Holmes look. Although, is that one locked? Oh, I feel... Oh, Swab Holmes is locked. Doggone it. I like the Swab Holmes. Alright, this one's fine. Maybe I'll give him glasses this time. With facial hair. Oh gosh. No. No. He looks so pedo. He looks so pedo with the glasses and mustache. No, I can't. No. No. That's not too bad. Oh gosh. I really am not liking... I'm so not a fan of facial hair. Okay. I think this is fine. I'll give him glasses this time. Some makeup options have been currently covered are not available. Really? Oh, these glasses are not available. I can't wear the glasses. Well, that's annoying. And I can't use this hair either. Sheesh. My options are really limited. Yeah, I can't. I have to use this or the hat. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the hat. I didn't have the hat last time, so I can have the hat this time. Yeah. Let's go with the hat. I'm doing it. Now I am ready. Watson, to Abbey Grange. And we're probably packing our... We might be packing our, you know, archives, entire archives at the back of this thing. Maybe. We may not actually necessarily be going that far. So what's... Ooh, well this is classy. I actually match with him.
Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair.
Oh.
But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the
Teresa.
deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Thank you, Watson. Inspect the room where Lady Brackenstall is resting.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room. Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning.
Alright, I guess that's not the morning room. Oh, there she is.
Ladies, allow me to introduce myself.
Oh.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
What the heck?
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one.
That
I
is
fear
sick.
that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Oh, jeez. Poor thing. That, yeah. Fresh bruises. Yeah. Oh, there was something there. There was... Pale cheeks. Wait, what was that? Australian origin. Oh. Golden brooch, kangaroo and emu, Australian origin. Interesting. Elegant dress. Wedding ring. Her hands are dirty. Old bruises. Oh, jeez. What happened? Not a happy marriage. I guess I'm gonna cut to the chase.
You mentioned that
It
your
might be
marriage
relevant.
was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
I was gonna say, Sherlock, you can see. You can see. Nothing else, eh?
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again.
Doesn't give him the right to do that.
Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others.
Huh.
One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were 3, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker.
Yee.
I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Really?
Did these 3 villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard. But you can see for yourself in the dining room.
To make daggers with them? Silver to make
Your
daggers?
ladyship?